Okay, it is now 5:05, and we're going to go ahead and get started with learning how to build your listing presentation and your buyer's presentation inside of Command. So once you have logged in, what you want to do is come over to the left side. You will see the KW button here. I typically like to push on that because what it does is it gives you the names of all of the icons. And what you'll do is you'll come down to designs and you'll automatically be entered into the designs, templates, dashboard. And so essentially what that is it's showing you all of your designs that you've done so far, okay? And so for me, I've done 118 designs. Just some of them are serious, some of them are just messing around. And these are gonna be all of your designs together. Now, if you get up to a higher number where you don't want to just keep clicking through and you're like, okay, where's this thing that I'm looking for? You can say, okay, I'm looking for a print. So what did I do for print? And here I only have 13, right? Or if I wanted to see my social media ones, I have 30 of those. And so you can search for them basically based on, what type of avenue or medium you created it for. We have the videos here, so I have 5 videos. So like I said, you can always easily find them, and this is after you've created it. So when you start, or even if you're in the process of creating it, but you wanted to move away to something else and then come back to it, well, you can come back, and this is essentially where it saves to, okay? So if we want to create a buyer's presentation, what we would do, and the listing presentation, what we would do is come down to the bottom right corner and hit this plus symbol. And now it now it asks us, okay, what kind of design do you want to create? So we want to create something that's going to be in print. So we're going to hit print, and then we're going to hit next. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you just a slight overview of this since we're here, just so you know what you're looking at. So on the left side, you'll see all of the different types of themes that you have for your print. And your print is essentially going to be jumbo postcards, flyers, which is going to be in the shape of a letter, then large postcards and standard postcards. Now, some of these you'll see they'll have different, they'll have trifold or whatever, and you'll see all of these kind of change as we click through these. So these are going to be the templates. These are the things that are already built out for you. And so we have a set of designers at KWRI that are always pulling in new stuff, new formats for us to use to give out to our clients and to future clients and to neighbors and all of that. So so that's what these templates are. And if you looked at this, you have 134 templates here that are going to be focused on the KW app. And so if you're trying to get your KW app out there and you're trying to get more people to download it, that's what that would be for. Now, before I go down this side, this My Designs, these are all of the print designs that I have started playing with. So kind of like what I did on the front end and actually trying to find those prints on the dashboard, this is also where I can find everything that I've played with and everything that I've wanted to put in there. If you wanted to import a PDF, you can just drag and drop it, and it'll analyze that PDF and break it down to its most basic elements. And then you can start deleting different things that you don't want. So if there's a PDF that you see out there that you really like, import it, and then you can break it down and replace whatever you like on it. So going back to the templates over here in the top left corner, and so you see My App, you'll see listings. So under listings, you have the listing presentation, you have for sale, just listed, price updates, neighborhood snapshots, open house, just sold, and local expert. Okay, so let's say you have a for sale. So, and if you see up here, all of these changed based on like what you're doing. So price update, you only have door hangers, flyer letters, and standard postcards. But for sale, you have a lot more. So you have the door hangers, and essentially what it is it's actually formatted for the right size for a door hanger. And so essentially you would have this created, then you would just send this to your printer, or if you have a company that does the printing for you, you can do that. I know that I think in this area we can use Minutemen, and if you just send them, this, then you specify what sort of paper you want it to be printed on, you can pay them to print that. You go pick them up, and then you just start door knocking and hanging these tags on people's doors. Um, you have the letter flyers, standard postcards, trifolds, bifolds, and then a bifold that's horizontal. So this one is vertical, meaning that the content is vertical, but it bifolds horizontally. And then you have the bifolds horizontal, which they fold vertically, but the information goes from left to right. Okay. So I'm not going to go through all of these. So this is where your listing presentation is. And if you come down to buyer, this is where your buyer presentation is. Okay. And what you'll notice is for both of these, they're essentially the same. They're not the same, but they have different fields. One is in black and the other is in white. And the same thing for your buyer presentation. Okay. So we'll go through and we'll create the buyer's presentation. If you have any questions, as normal, feel free to just start talking and I will answer whatever question you may have. Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and use the home buyer, this one guide, and click use. Okay. So what you'll see on the left side, well, the far left side, you'll see that we have the templates, and these templates are essentially the sheets of the buyer, the suggested sheets that the buyer guide takes a hold of. So these are all of the pieces of the buyer's guide that you could possibly use, and it's all created for you. You'd have to fill in your own information, but the formatting is there. Okay. And so you can see there's a bunch of slides here, and you don't have to use them all. You can use the ones that you'd like. So that's in under templates. Then you have images. So these are images that you can either add from Facebook, your Facebook pages, Instagram, your Google Drive, your Dropbox. You can drag and drop pictures or browse. If you click on this, you're browsing, on your computer to bring them in. You can extract them from a PDF, PSD, I don't know that file format, or SVG. So you can extract from any of these. And then you'll see all your imported images here. Okay. Now, the company, meaning KWRI, they have a bunch of images also that they've purchased that they've allowed you to have access to, and you'll see those here. So if you want images about the app, this is where you'll find them, cell phones, stuff like that. Lifestyle at home. So these are images about people and kids and families and how they're using homes. And so you can always drag and drop these in to your listing presentations. Same thing about lifestyle activities. So the first one was at home. These are just random shots of people doing activities, you know, um, skiing, whatever. So you got that. Neighborhoods. So this is all different types of neighborhoods, different types of fields. So if you're selling in a specific neighborhood, or if you know that your clients or your, you know, who you're giving this presentation to, if they're looking in a specific neighborhood, you may want to pick some things that resonate with them a little bit better. And then we have house types. Same thing. If you know there's a specific house type, if you know that they want a condo versus a townhouse or a row house versus a single family home. Let's see if we have any single family home. Yeah, we have this single family home. We have all of those in here. So modern feel, traditional. So if there's anything that, you know, that you'd like to tailor your pictures to, you can use all of these pictures here. But otherwise, if you have your own photos, definitely just go ahead and, you know, add them here, and then they'll all show up here, and then you can use them for your buyer's presentation. Okay. And then your library, this is where the ones that you add, this is where they'll show up. Okay. Text. So this is where you would add text. Um, so you can add your text here. So you can drag and drop different types of text here. Same thing with banners. They have all types of banners. So you can use these. You can drag and drop these into here as well. So this is the ownership statement. Each office is independently owned and operated. You can drag and drop that in there. And then if you have a library of different fonts, you can, those will show up here after you've added them. Okay. Icons. So you can add icons once again. Anything that you've downloaded, anything that you've bought or purchased, excuse me, you can add them here. So these are stock assets. So these are things that we've gotten offline or online, things that you can use as a result of being a Keller Williams agent. Just kind of scroll through. I see Twitter here. I saw Instagram, Facebook, Swordfish, you know, whatever it is. Just take a look to see if it's in here. They're always updating them. If there's a certain icon you're looking for, let's see if homes. So there are no results for homes. So you can look in here, do a search, see if it shows up. If it doesn't show up, I don't know what that is, designer. If it doesn't show up, then it's not in there. Company, these are different of company logos that have been added in for us. And then my library, those are things that I've added in, and they'll show up here. Logos. So we have Metro Center logos, and so you can get those from the Google Drive for the office that you're in. Just ask your Adobe or ASC which one, whichever one, and what, ask them what that link is, and you can go in and find the logo for the company. If you have a logo for your company, you can add those in as well. So let's see. So these are all just generic. If you wanted a lab logo, you can put that in there. KW. So these are all generic KW logos. They're not Metro Center logos. And let's see what the miscellaneous. Yeah, so the miscellaneous is the equal opportunity, which is important, and then National Association of Realtors, which is important as well. I'm guessing this is probably the same as this, but it's probably on a white background. So you put it on a darker, background, then it would be fine. It'll show up. And last but not least, if you have a Keller Williams, if you have a listing that that you wanted to put in there for some reason, if you wanted the photos from there, you can just go ahead and put it in here, put the address here, 7395. Okay, and you can select. And so it'll pull up all the listing, it'll pull up all the photos for that listing, and you can use these photos as well. Okay. Um, if you wanted to do a snapshot, you can do a snapshot of a neighborhood. So if we did a neighborhood name, let's do Lion Park. Yep, Lion Park in Arlington. And here we go. And so now we have the snapshot for Lion Park, and we have those numbers, and we have the graphics. So if you wanted to, you can just drag them over or replace them just as you see fit. Okay, so we're going to go back to template, and we are going to start to build our buyer's presentation. So as you notice, there is nothing down here. This essentially is going to be where you're going to see your actual buyer's presentation. Right now, it's just a template, and you don't have a buyer's presentation until you start selecting. So if you click on this, so I just clicked on it, and it shows up here, but it will also show up down here. You can go in and start interacting with that, but I would not do that just yet. I would go ahead and build out the overall structure of my buyer's presentation. And so what you can do is say, okay, yeah, I want this slide, I want this slide. You can scroll through, client name, yep, I want that. Okay, I'm waiting. Okay, perfect. So we got the client name, table of content, can add that. I'm going to skip over sound decision. Your need comes first. Put that in there. My app, build your preference profile, your home wish list. Okay, so we'll do this. And so let's say I say, oh, you know what? I think I do want the app here. So what it'll do is it will add the app in as you have it, but then you can go and just click on this and then drag it, and you can put it here. You can drag it to wherever you'd like. Okay. Now, what this does, clicking it, it allows you to either copy it or to delete it. So I could say, let's say I said, okay, I want sound decision, and it added it at the end. I drag it up here, and then I'm looking at it and I read it, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I don't know if I necessarily want to say that, and I don't know anything that I'd want to put there. So then you just click on this and you delete it. You say, yes, I want to delete it. And so now it's gone. Okay. So essentially, you're going to go through all of these templates, and you're going to look at them and make sure these are things you want to say, you can add them, and then you can put them in the right places that you'd like them. And you may be adding them in those places as well. So you may not have to drag and drop. But if you did have to drag and drop, you know how to do that. And then once you get to that place where you're ready to tell your story, you're going to make sure that this is all cohesive, one cohesive story. And so you want to start off, and you want that theme to resonate throughout, and you're leading them down a pathway. And so making sure that all of this, all of this goes together, sticks together. The way that you do that is you're looking. Okay, so you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, I like this, but let's say so the table of contents, you're going to add in everything that's here. Okay. And so you can start adding by just double clicking, and you have the cursor there, and you can just start moving throughout this. And so if you wanted to say this, buying 101, and then you could say, what did I do? Let me see. I just hit something. Okay. And so you can start to add in whatever it is that you like. I have a sneaking suspicion that I probably moved everything down here, which I did not want to do. Or maybe I didn't. Okay. So you can increase the size of these areas that they're giving you. But what it does is it will, as you go farther out, it makes it longer. And so just be aware of that. If you get the little crosshairs like this and you click on this, then that actually helps you to move this around. If you have the crosshairs and it's clicked on that, then you move in that around. Okay. You can change everything you want about these. You can change the fill color. So let's say the fill color, I'd like it to be green, then I can make it green. But it has to be highlighted before you can change that. Or I can change it back to this color. That's perfectly fine. If I did do this green, I can make it more opaque or less opaque just by dragging and dropping that, or just by dragging this. So you have a lot of control over what you're doing to the colors, to every aspect of this design. So you can make it really pop and make it feel like your own. Okay. Um, So if you wanted a blue line around, that's what that's for. That's what this is your line color, this is your fill color, and this is your opacity. Now, if you wanted to change the lines, if you wanted to change the thickness, you can change the thickness here. Um, and if you wanted it to be, dashes or what have you have all of those different options. Okay. So you can really, like I said, make this to be your own and to do whatever you'd like. This template is just that. It's a template. And so what it will do is it will allow you to have a starting place, and then you can change all the things that you don't like about it and make it the way that you want it to feel, make it feel the way you want it to feel. Okay. Um, Scrolling down through some of these. So for instance, we have this affiliated business disclosure that's in here, and you could essentially put in, so we have that affiliated business disclosure that we have our clients to sign. But in your buyer's presentation, you can go through those documents with them. And so you could actually, put in that language that's in our affiliated business disclosure and have that as a way to introduce it to them. They obviously would not sign this one, but when they do see it, when you send it to them, they'll know what it is. And it's not like a feeling like you're trying to, slide something under the table if you've already done that, if you've already gone over that with them. So they've got that in there. Um, let's see. Wish list your first home, your neighborhood, getting to know the neighborhood. So just information about what they should do for getting to know. There are a lot of agents, there are a lot of buyers who kind of already been shopping before they come to us. But if you have people that are moving into the area, that might be, a good slide for them. These neighborhood insights. And so, one thing I was going to show you about this is that, you know, we have, so this is, they have Barton Hills here, but the way that you would replace these and make it your own is you would go to, is it low? Images, add company, my library. So there was, all right, there we go. Okay, so you have to highlight this first, and then you go into KWLS, and we had the Lion Park here. So to change this out, you would just highlight this, come over and click on this replace image. And so now Lion Park is there. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So they have a Ballston 1 and a Ballston 2, which is interesting, but we will go ahead and highlight that. And we will replace that. And so now you have Ballston. And so one thing that you can do is if you're comparing the two, you can just start adding the information. So the average list price, you can type all of that in if you like. Or one thing that you could do is you could take this out and just replace this whole thing and put that there. So they would have the stats. It won't be to this detail, but it all just kind of depends on what you're kind of going for. Okay. So we're going to go back to templates, move down the line a little bit, how home buying works. So this would be the home buying process. You can add that in there.
Hey, bud, and sorry to interrupt you, but just to confirm, the neighborhoods segment, is that like the most updated information on there?
Yeah, yeah. So all this information is being pulled in by by pulled in from the MLS. And so it's just being reformatted. So whenever you see a neighborhood snap, it's taking the snap, it's a snapshot of the market as it stands right now. And
Got
that,
it. Got it. Thanks, man.
yep. Okay. So this, how home buying works. So essentially what you're doing is showing them what the steps are to home buying. And so you're taking them 1, 2, 3, 4, and the next page comes down to here. That's 5, was that 5 through 8, all the way down to closing day. Okay. And so if you wanted to, how do I, what I'm gonna do is, so yeah, you can you can make this as big as you want to, and then you can just start adding information as you need to. You can change all of this. So if you have a whole nother step that you want to put in there, you can totally do that. You would just have to, make sure that you're following, this template. If it doesn't fit in the template, you can always create a whole new template the way that you'd like it to look. But like I said, these are just suggestions of how this one actual form goes. Financing the future. So they talk about financing your home, the do's and the don'ts, and so what you need to have on hand. So it's actually really good information. So read through it, and if it's something that you'd like to give to your clients, definitely do that. Um, So yeah, I would definitely encourage you to look through this. Once you get everything there, um, so this one I chose 16, but you can choose more, obviously. All of your things that you're going to be using to kind of make this look the way that you want are going to be here. So you have the drawing shapes, square, line, circle, path. Um, then they have basic shapes, animals, uh, arrows, so definitely go in, play with it. Math, they have all the math shapes here, web symbols, and scroll down for that. So definitely come in, take a look at that. Um, they have these frames. So really what it is a pentagon shape. If you wanted to put in an image, where's that? Frames. Then you can put that there. And then once you bring in an image, let's say icons. Yeah, I don't have any images. Let's see if I can find an image really quick for you to bring that in. Those are icons, logos. Yeah. All right. So I'm not able to bring in images, but if you had an image that you brought in, essentially it would be cropped to this shape. Okay, so you would replace the image into this shape. You would replace the image, and it would be cropped into this shape essentially. So that's what that's about. And then this is where you would add all of your different text. All righty. So once you get this the way that you'd like it, um, you can name this. You can name this. Layers presentation. All right. And then if I wanted to download it, I could download it as a JPEG, PNG, or a PDF. Okay. And these are ideal for printing. I want to download everything. And if I want standard web quality or high resolution, The only thing that makes a difference is the high resolution is just going to be more space taken up on your drive, but it's going to be really high quality. Okay, so you got to do that. You start to download, and so now go to my download folder. And here's my guide. And I can just scroll through with my buyers, and start talking to them about everything. So when you put it into screen share mode, you get to see both of the pages together, and it'll be easier for you to kind of go through and talk to them about everything. Okay. So that's what it looks like. You can send this out to whoever. You can post this online if you wanted to. So yeah. Now, if you wanted to share it, you can share this directly either on Facebook. You can tweet it out, or on Pinterest. Okay. Otherwise, you could have this link, and you could copy and paste this link and send it in an email or a text message as well. Okay. And same thing for the project. Now, if you wanted to, I have it on autosave, but it's always good to just save it just in case. Then I click done. And so now what I said is, like, when let's say you're in your contacts and you're doing something, and now you come back here, come back down to designs. This is where you'll find, your buyer's presentation and anything else that you did. If somehow it was lost in here, you can go back to print, and you'll find everything that you've done with print. Okay. And then you'll just click on that, and it'll open that back up for you, and you can start playing around with it again. Okay. So we're going to go back now, and are there any questions with that, before I move over to the listing presentation?
Hey, what if you wanted to like get your own image installed, like on there, how would you import that?
Okay. Um, Let me go back. Uh, all right. So if you wanted to get your own image in, so you would go to images, and you would hit add, and then you would click here, and then you'd pull your images off your computer. Or if you have them on Dropbox, or Google Drive, you can pull them off of that. If you have them on Instagram, Facebook pages, or Facebook, you can do it that way as well.
Got it. Thank you, man.
Yep, my pleasure. Okay, so we're going to move into the listing presentation. It's going to have the same look and feel. Well, not the same look and feel, but it's going to have a similar feel. And so essentially what we're going to do is we're going to click use. And now this one would be Haywood's listing presentation. Spell my name wrong? No. There we go. All right. Okay. So yeah, the listing template. Let's see what these instructions are about. Design. Okay. Yeah. So this is just to tell you how to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. All right. So you have your cover page. You have information. So I'll go ahead and blow this up so everyone can see. So this is just going to be an intro to the home. And this is gonna kind of outlay at the highest level, just some information about the home. So I think this is a pretty cool. I've used this sheet for my listing presentation. So it gives kind of the stats, not like they don't know it, but this is information that they possibly would not know. That their house is 10% larger than the average property sold in this neighborhood, or if it's, you always want to put something positive, so something that the house has more of that other houses don't have. Um, Same thing with number of bedrooms. This is really like a high level summary of great things about this house. And it shows that you've done your homework when you walk into the home. Once again, we have this snapshot of Barton Hills, and you can see that, you know, this when we put the information in, it'll be all updated, and then you'll have like a couple little blurbs that you'll put in yourself, and then you'll put in, some average list prices, what has happened with the prices, and what has happened with the days on market, as in the last 90 days. um, Here you'll talk about, the things that buyers are interested in, and all of this is pretty much the same from market to market. But if there's something specific that's specific to this neighborhood that people come in looking for, then definitely I would put that there, because if they know about it, then they're going to be expecting to see it or hear it from you. If they don't know about it, then you've just provided value to them, and now they know something a little bit more about what the buyers are looking for in this area. So it's always a good sheet. Your comparable sheet. So this is just going to show, and you can add as many of these as you want. So if you have more comparable properties than four, you can just add another one. And let's say you did add another one down here, you would have two in a row. Um, and yet, what you can do is I would just highlight this and delete. Okay. So that way you'd only have six. And then you could probably just you can just do it 3 and 3 if you want. So, you have total control over how you do this. Um, let's see. So this is a good one, talking about what the process is for selling your house. Uh, you know, you probably want to take out begin attorney review if they're not going to be using an attorney. Um, but definitely tailor this to what your process would be, and make sure that it's in a format where they can easily check things off. I think that's why they have these boxes here, so they can easily check it off. They'll peel off this sheet and say, okay, yep, we're doing this, we're walking through this. And actually, one good thing is if anybody has done this in their KW app, you can actually put this list into your KW app. and then you can describe what each of these things mean. And so then one level lower, they'll have a little, write up about what does it mean to sign the listing agreement? What happens at that, when we're negotiating a contract, or what happens after we're under a contract? What can we expect, right? And so in the KW app, when in this listing appointment, you can talk through this, but then you can pull out your KW app and show them, okay, this is where it would be in your guide. And then you can share your KW app with them so that they can start seeing and playing around with it. And then that'll be helpful for them to adopt your app as well. So we have the process. Perfect. Then we go right into the KW app. So that's the very next thing that comes up. So we start talking about the custom marketing plan. Makes them feel very special that you have a marketing plan specifically for them. So you'll start going through that with them, finding your buyer. So this really goes through, let me blow this one up. This really goes through how buyers are finding their homes. So it shows that the internet is the biggest. So they actually start looking, and yet there's still a huge need for real estate agents. So, between the real estate agent and between the internet, there's a very good chance that they're going to find a house. These are other things that are done, but they don't yield the same effects as the internet and having a great agent. And so with the internet, with that said, let's see if this is it. Yeah. So they started talking about smart targeted networks. One thing that I was thinking that I would transition into is probably start talking about, okay, if they're all on the internet, then you'd actually want to have professional photos, right? And so professional photos is part of that marketing plan as well. But you can always, tell whatever story you'd like. You have best in class promotional assets. And so these are all the assets. When they say assets, these are all things that we're creating in designs. So we're talking about flyers, postcards, door hangers, or door knocking hangers, all of that stuff that we do to market a home. That's what we're talking about here. When we're talking about media, blow this up, same thing. So we're talking about, okay, we use the property brochures, then we send just listed flyers, and then just listed postcards. And then we do all the door knocking and all that stuff, invitation for open house, all of those right away. We have a custom property website, which is going to be a landing page. So if anybody's taken a class or ever got a one-on-one with me, those custom property websites are landing pages, which you can build and send those out specifically. Okay. Then you have your agent website property feature. So there is a feature on your agent website where you have your featured site, your featured listings, and your listing could be one of those on that featured listing, just depending on how you've set up your website. Then you talk about the Instagram posts, Instagram stories, Facebook posts, paid boosted Facebook ads. So all of these things are all things that you can do inside of Command today, and you can do it effectively. And all of that is geared to promoting your listings. Okay, so this is talking about having a coming soon campaign. Anyone in our brokerage, one thing that we have been advertising and wanting all agents to do, and it's actually a requirement, is that you put in your homes in the coming soon portal, or we call it the agent portal. And essentially what happens with this agent portal or the coming soon portal is let's say you have this listing. Let's say you go on this listing appointment, you get the listing, they sign it, and they want to go on the market mid-July. Well, now you have a couple of weeks to actually sell it before it hits the market. Because what happens is you sign the agreement, you go, you get it all signed by the brokers, you get it all approved through compliance, you put in the coming soon portal, and if whatever stats the house has, so let's say it's 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom townhouse, 2,000 square feet, and let's say it's in Clarendon. Well, and let's say it's going for, I don't know, 780. You know, that house will be put into the coming soon portal, and anybody that's put in their buyer's needs inside of this portal, when that house is put in, it's automatically matched up with the buyer needs, and it's sent over to the agent. So the agent is going to get an email that says, hey, Haywood has just put in a new coming soon home for you to look at. And so you would look at that and say, oh, that'll be perfect for my clients. And then you'll contact me and we'll see if we can set up a time where they could come through. And so if you write that contract and everything gets ratified, then you can help your clients find homes that are not necessarily on the market, but they're ready to buy. And so that's what the whole coming soon campaign is. And that's what you want to explain to your clients, is that we have 700 plus agents who are all, they all have buyers, and all of those people are going to see this property before it hits the market. And that's great because you don't have a lot of people coming through your house, especially with COVID going on. And so it's a great value that you can offer to your clients. Same with the just listed campaign. So let's say it gets through coming soon portal and no, it doesn't really match. Well, as soon as it hits the market, you have a just listed strategy. And a lot of that is, it could be door knocking, it could be sending out email blasts, it was the custom landing page, sending out postcards. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. And so that's what you're trying to explain to your clients on this slide, is all of those things that happen to be, things that you're going to do for them. Okay, open house strategy. I see that we are running out of time. We have about 3 minutes. I can continue to go through this, but I think that you probably get the idea. There's a lot of goodness in these. And so I'll stop here. Are there any questions that anyone has, or is there anything that you would like to have seen that you did not see?
I think we're good, Haywood. Thank you, man, for your time.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for coming out. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me and I'll be happy to help.
Yeah, thank you, Haywood. I think this was really helpful. So I'm going to sit down and work on it before I forget it again.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thanks.